My name is Nonie Darwish, and I have been an activist really since 9/11, speaking against jihad. Wrote 2 books. The first one was Now They Call Me Infidel, and the name was created because actually somebody did call me infidel. The second book is Cruel and Usual Punishment, and it's about Sharia law and its impact on Muslim society and the West. Because now today we have Muslim immigrants going to Europe, in America, and our numbers are increasing. And with our moving to the United States, we move the good and the bad. You have the good contributions of people coming from the Middle East, and also what we have to fear. The worst kind of tyranny is when the victim is too scared to speak out. You haven't heard much from Muslims who left Islam. And the reason is they are very silent. They're in hiding. They are too scared. And that's what former Muslims in America are suffering from. They are really scared to speak, like myself and others. So being a Muslim really is not a relationship with God. A lot of Christians or Jews or Hindus, it's a relationship with the Creator. It's a personal relationship. But when it comes to Islam, from birth, you don't choose your religion. Your birth certificate is stamped Muslim. And it really is no longer a relationship with God. It's a relationship with the Islamic State that you cannot make void or null at all. It's against the law. So you are committed to being a Muslim, whether you like it or not. The laws are many against leaving Islam. It is, the Muslim scriptures are inundated with commandments against people who leave the religion. There are books bought and sold in the United States. One of them is right here. It's called Reliance of the Traveler. Islamic books are everywhere, being preached from mosques in America to kill apostates wherever you find them. It's the law of Islam. Sharia books all agree, and it doesn't matter whether you're Sunni or Shiite, whether you're following Hanafi law, Shafi'i law, Hanbali law, or Maliki law. All of the Sharia laws agree on one thing, that a person who leaves Islam must be killed. There's no ifs or ands about it. And that's why we're in hiding. But what's worse than a law, and a law is supposed to be executed by the state, what is worse than a law is when the religious legal system tell Muslims on the street that there are 3, you can kill an apostate and you will not be punished. The worst kind of law in Islam is when the legal system, the Islamic legal system, gives the right for the Muslim on the street to kill an apostate. And that's what scares us in America. Because we're not scared of the police, even in the Middle East. If I go and say I'm an apostate, the police might not know, they might not arrest me. I'm scared of my neighbors, of my family, of my friends, of somebody who will see me go into a church or hold a Bible. And they can kill me, and under Islamic law, they will not go to jail. This has happened in 1992 to a journalist by the name of Foda. His last name is Foda. And he was actually killed in front of his house. When he went to court, none other than the head of Al-Azhar University, which is the most prominent Islamic university in the Middle East. It's over 1,000 years old. And he testified on behalf of the murderer. Our religious leaders testify on the behalf of the murderers of our family if they are killed for apostasy. So, and this is the fear, The fear is from everybody. You walk in the street, you look over your shoulder because you don't know who's going to kill you. And that is why Islamic law discovered from early on that if they leave the justice system in the hands of the police and the judiciary, it will not, you might have some people who will bribe the police and they will be not killed. And this is the most severe part of Islamic law, is turning Muslim against Muslim, turning father against children, turning brother against brother. And that's what's happening. The testimony of apostates are not admissible in court. An apostate does not inherit from his family. I've been disinherited already from my family who's wealthy in Egypt. Marriage of an apostate under the law is immediately dissolved. It's immediately annulled if the spouse of that person, even if the spouse doesn't want to be divorced. So there is a case actually that happened in Egypt where a man who didn't announce he was an apostate, he just acted like it. So he was denounced as an apostate, and a third-party divorce happened against both husband and wife's will. They were perfectly within the laws of Sharia. Third-party divorce to put us in line, to keep us in line. And ladies and gentlemen, I have news for you. We have people who believe in this kind of law who live right here in America, and they are terrifying us. It is a hidden and silent but very real threat against former Muslims right here in America. We are living in constant fear for our lives because we choose not to practice Islam. There's not one way, one day that passes without me thinking of the threat. As I'm leaving my home in my car, as I'm asleep when the dog barks at night, and when I get yelled apostate and infidel by some radical Muslims right here in America. They call me Jew lover right here on college campuses in America. Why do I need security? Why did Wafa Sultan have to leave her beautiful home to live in an apartment? Why did Salman Rushdie live in hiding for many years? Why did the killer of the Egyptian reformist journalist get away with his murder? The murderer was defended. The people who assault us are defended. They are heroes. Why did recently I write an article about an Egyptian journalist by the name of Sayyid al-Kimani? He's a famous journalist. He went on Egyptian television pleading with the public, saying, I'm not an apostate. I'm just criticizing some aspects of Sharia law that discriminate against women. See, in America, they have the race card to silence sometimes people. In the Middle East and the Muslim community, we have the apostasy card. We don't have to declare even that we are apostates. We can just act. Let's say the girl in Canada who didn't wear her head cover and her father killed her because he treated her like she was an apostate. She refuses to wear a head cover, then she must be an apostate, and she gets killed. The examples are many. Guess what happened to that man, that journalist, Sayyid al-Qimani? Just recently, a few months ago, 5,000 mosques all over Egypt called for his death in one Friday. He had a fatwa on his death to kill him in one Friday. 5,000 mosques. Does that tell you how many radical mosques there are? And he was accused of being a heretic, and that the Egyptian president himself, Hosni Mubarak, is also an apostate because Hosni Mubarak gave him an award. How can you give an award to somebody who criticizes any aspects of Islam? And that's how they silence reformists. So to have any hope to reform Islam is almost impossible.